Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today, so we're here with Scotty Beers. We're doing the Scotty Beers Gorilla Suit incident. We've been wanting to do this for a while. So let me first off by saying I've done two other podcasts, but you have to go through my videos. The first one's really censored. The second one, I don't know, but we're gonna name names here. This is uncensored. Again, let me just give you a warning. We used to be wild man. We were teenagers in the 80s. Okay, it was the 80s. All right.
Woo.
We partied like rock stars. Okay. But we feel that we shouldn't censor ourselves. We should tell this incident. Right?
Exactly. As it is, as it happened. No lies, no obfuscations.
No.
We're just gonna spill the beans.
We're spilling the beans. So let me just set it up real quick and I'll give it to Scotty. So we're trying to figure this out. It was either between like late 88, early 90. No, early 88, 89.
89.
Right. So we're thinking, but it was because it was winter.
It was definitely winter.
So we're thinking it's either December 88 or January 89. We're trying to put many beers ago. Okay.
Many moons have passed.
And people know this. And it's all going to tie in at the end. There's a weird kind of
the ending is pretty cool. He's going to wrap it all up.
That's what makes it so great.
Is it all comes together at the end.
The circle is complete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So late 88, early 90. This is in Champaign, Urbana, Illinois. Fighting Illini, U of I, Shampoo Banana. It was on Green Street.
A party every night. Even if you didn't go to college, neither of us were enrolled in college, but we could hit a college party.
We had
any night of the week. Any night of the week, just show up at some kegger bash and like, hey, where was Steve?
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, give me your $3 and you're in. It's just.
And we had fake IDs. I remember buying the fake ID. I just don't remember where we bought them, but fake IDs were a thing, so we had fake IDs. Again, we don't condone. We're not condoning this behavior. But we're just saying, like, kids today are doing worse, bro.
Way worse. We were like innocent little,
compared to people using needles and stuff.
Kids today are shooting heroin. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So, without further ado, Scotty Beers.
So, yeah, this was the late 80s. Charlie's mother had moved to Champaign to manage the Champaign Country Club, or the Urbana Country Club. And bought a house. Shortly thereafter, like literally just like maybe a month or two later, she took another job and was it to manage our antique store in St. Louis,
and gave us the house.
So she took another job in St. Louis and moved and left us the house to live in.
A 3-story basically.
Yeah,
it's like 6-bedroom,
2-story with a nice finished basement. So we were living large as kids. We were 18-year-old kids. It was odd. It was a dream come true in this party town. We got our own house. Mom's gone. We can do whatever the hell we want.
And so let's explain who lived in the house. It was me, you, my sister Jenny, and then Donna.
Donna blank. Right? I won't say her last name.
Joe Donna.
And that was it.
That was it. Yeah, that was it at the point.
At first.
At first. Okay.
So yeah, it's late 80s. Just to kind of put you in the time or put you in the mindset of where we were as people. We were huge Guns N' Roses fans. Just that whole scene.
Hanoi Rocks,
all that stuff. So that's how we dressed. Leather jacket, ripped t-shirt, tight Levi's tucked into snakeskin cowboy boots, full long hair, like not a mullet, but like rocker long hair. We thought we were rock stars.
We were known for our hair. We used to like hang upside down and dry it and like spray. Hairspray. Yeah. Awesome.
So that's how we looked. So it's a Friday or Saturday night.
Yep.
Who knows which one, but it was a weekend night. And we were going to go uptown. And at the time,
which is on Green Street, which is in Campus Town, Champaign, U of I, all these rich kids from God knows where around the world that can afford the University of Illinois. It's a top 10 school. money.
It was a happening place.
Yeah, it was like a little Sunset Strip. Green Street used to be.
Yeah, it had a great music scene back in those
God.
days. Mabel's Bar, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Mabel's used to bring in all kinds of cool bands that were like, big in the day. And it was a small club, but just they had that reputation that could still bring in bigger names. And so we're gonna go to Mabel's here in a little bit. But where were we at?
So we're going to Green Street, Detritos Uptown, which is another.
We gotta bring in our cohorts though. So his sister Jenny and her friend Joe Donna were dating these two firefighters, Air Force firefighters out of Rantoul, when Rantoul used to have an Air Force base, Rantoul, Illinois. They've long,
and they were cool.
They were cool
These
dudes.
guys would pay for everything, and
right? Yeah, they were cool dudes. And so we ended up they were over at the house that night, and the girls had something else to do, so it was like us four, me, Charlie, and these two dudes. Let's go uptown. Let's do it. So before we go uptown, Joe Donna gives. I don't think the Air Force dudes took them.
Oh yeah.
But Joe Donna gave me and Charlie each a Xanax. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a
benzo. You shouldn't drink on them.
Yeah, they're powerful. There's 3 different levels.
We had the strongest.
There's like a pink, or a yellow, a white, and a blue.
There's like an orange, white, peach, and purple or something. Anyway,
purple was
I think we're doing the bars, which is equivalent of like 3 purple. Like we had the strong, whatever it was. We ate the
powerful shit, and we were drinking like fish on top of it.
Yeah, sailors on shore leave. Just
and what I want to make clear is that hey, this is the 80s. We're 18-year-old kids. We don't condone it. We're 50 years old now, so it's like
I'm in my 50s. I don't do drugs.
We don't have time for that shit anymore.
I couldn't do it.
Shit. But we were having a great time as kids, and so we each ate a purple Xanax,
3 a bar,
and we're drinking on them. So let's cut to the chase. We're at a really great bar uptown on Green Street called Tritos Uptown. It was a 2nd floor bar that was infamous back in the day for letting underage people in. I mean, you didn't even have to show a fake ID. We had them, but they didn't even care.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the Wild West.
And it was packed.
Great night. We were having a blast.
Yeah.
We were having a blast. So at some point, I get up on the table, which is like a 4-foot table. Maybe 3.5 foot table. I mean, I'm kind of, I'm dancing.
You weren't the only one on a table. So
right? There was all
people
this
were dancing on tables.
Yes, it was a thing.
And they were allowing this to happen.
Right? Whatever that night, everybody was dancing on tables, and so was I. Woo! Yeah. Well, at some point, I fell off this table, like backwards, and smacked the back of my head off the edge of another table, like the next table over. I mean, hard. It's like there was no way for me to control the fall as I was so drunk and hammered.
Let me explain what happened. See, so he broke our table, like whatever it shifted. He falls and his head breaks another table, which like slings. Everybody's covered in booze and like cigarettes, and we thought he was dead.
And like 10 seconds later, I'm just like back up on my feet, like, hey,
pop right back up.
Give me another beer.
Yeah, we're like, what? Huh? He was out, for a bit. We're like, damn, he's dead. And then bam, the bump, 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 bump.
It just, hey, I'm 18 and invincible. Just, so I'm concussed. Let's just make that clear.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't know it at the time. I didn't care because I was too freaking just
ossified
drunk on Xanax.
Well, Jenny and Donna, remember they
concussed.
showed up. We all met up. Jenny and Donna
did they show up?
Yeah,
later?
They showed up, and we ate more pills. I mean, okay, let's just be honest. We were stupid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
just like a big bottle of dumb.
Could have died in our sleep that night.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, stupid. So you fall,
bust my head. I'm right back up on my feet, and the party goes on, and we're rocking. So at some point, now we're getting back to Mabel's. The two firefighter dudes and Jenny and Joe Donna, who they're dating, decide to go check out Mabel's. And I stuck around. Me and Party Charlie. Me and Party Charlie. Me and Charlie partied for a little bit at the Tritos. And I think he was macking on some girl.
So we leave because we were on Green Street. Remember how many it was packed with people. I mean, again, it's like
cold as a cold well digger's ass.
Snowing.
It didn't matter. There was people everywhere.
Yeah.
So where are we going? So at some point, I'm starting to black out at this point. But I remember going up into Mabel's. Charlie stayed on the street. I don't remember what you ended up doing.
I don't know.
You might have met some girl and took her back to the house or something. But I'm like, I'm going to go upstairs to Mabel's.
We got split up. Let's just say that.
We got split up. I'm going to go see what the two dudes and his sister and her friend are doing up there. I kind of remember little bits of Mabel's, kind of being in there bullshitting with those those couples. And then it just kind of goes blank. It goes blank.
So no, I didn't wait. So we reconvened. So everybody gets split up, but then we're all hanging out on Green Street because it's like Mabel's, like a pizza parlor, and then Tritos uptown. And Mabel's was upstairs. You had to go upstairs. So we're looking for Scotty Beers. Again, we're ossified, wasted. All right, but these the Air Force firefighters were kind of they've been drinking, but they weren't doing what we
right. They weren't that wasted,
and I think they were driving us. I'm pretty sure they were. I had a Camaro at the time that I'd wrecked a few times, but we're all just got it, but we can't find Scotty Beers.
So what had happened? I barely remember this. I
barely
barely remember this. Some college kid, I don't even know if it was a male or female. I just remember kind of like, hey, we're having a party at this frat house. You want to go? Yeah, I want to go. The frat house. Let's go. So that's kind of all I remember there. I've been invited to a frat house. Everything else is blank for who knows how long. I come to a moment of clarity. I'm in this huge, fancy frat house, like one of the nicer ones on campus.
It's a mansion, basically.
It's a small mansion. It's a mansion.
It's a huge mansion. All right. It's on campus. It is, rich fraternity. You know what I mean? They're going to school. They're like the governor's son and whoever, God knows what.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
you were dancing on a piano. I remember you saying something like that.
I remember kind of showing up there. Like, what am I doing? And kind of like feeling out of place. What am I doing here? I don't know, all these college kids. I look totally unlike everybody else with my long hair and snakeskin boots and leather. And, I didn't belong. But for some reason, I got invited, and I think we'll find out why later. So there's a blackout period there. Then there's a moment of clarity, a lucid moment, where I'm standing on a baby grand piano in a full gorilla suit without the head. I didn't have the head on at that point, I don't think. But I'm in like a full, like
a nice gorilla.
And it looked all cool.
Like an expensive gorilla suit.
I'm in a gorilla suit dancing on top of a baby grand piano. And what I remember also, which I don't want to offend, I might have family watching, but it's what I seen. It's what happened. It's a crazy college frat party, so weird things happen. But
orgy, perhaps.
There was a lone girl in the corner of this big main room where the grand piano was and the main party was happening. Like giving BJs to like
a blowback.
There must have been like all you seen was just a crush of dudes,
40 guys
surrounding this corner, like maybe 20, maybe 30, but a lot of dudes. And she was
frying her, whatever, hey.
You can bet she didn't tell her future husband about that
Right.
college
It's
story.
the 80s, okay? You know what I mean? Like Guns N' Roses, and it was
nuts.
before everything. I don't know.
There's PJ. She wants to get in on the action. Charlie's dog. But
so you saw that. You saw that was shocking.
I was shocked. Like, what in the? I mean, even as hammered as I was, and I've seen some crazy stuff. I've been around the block a few times, but nothing like that. Like a lone girl in a corner, just like taking on everybody. Like, what? So, okay. At that point, I basically black out. I mean, for good. It's done. Who knows what I said or did after that? I just remember being on top of this piano, doing my thing in a gorilla suit, and blackout. Cut to the chase. I wake up the next morning. Oh my God, I hurt. I hurt so bad. My head hurt. My body hurt because I was obviously concussed. I mean,
You woke up in a gorilla suit.
I woke up in the hallway. Nobody even bothered to put me in a bed. I just woke up in the hallway of this big frat house in a full gorilla suit. I had the head on. The full suit was on. I'm like waking up like, whoa, where are my eyes looking all weird here? Well, it's because the gorilla suit head was kind of all shifted on my face. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So I take off the head. I'm missing my leather jacket. Is gone, an expensive leather jacket. My snakeskin cowboy boots that my tight Levi's were tucked into, just like Axl Rose, because that's my hero. And who knows how much those boots cost even back then. Snakeskin cowboy boots were like $150
back then. That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. So I'm barefoot. I have no coat. But I do have this gorilla suit.
It's snowing.
And it's colder.
It's in Illinois.
Yeah. Cold. Snow everywhere.
A blizzard.
So I get up and stumble out of this frat house. There's nobody up. I think it was pretty early. I don't remember what time.
But it's close to Green Street where we were partying. See, that it's campus town, so it's not that far from
a block. Maybe I had to walk barefoot through all this snow, mind you. It sucked. And I found this little, it was like a little pizza joint / bar that managed, for whatever reason, was open at whatever it was, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. there were people in there. Probably,
Well, they had 24-hour pizza stuff in Champion. These kids, you know what I mean? It was,
there were like 5 or 6 people in there. And here I come stumbling in with my long hair. It must have looked like hell. In a gorilla suit. Without the head, barefoot. Can I use your payphone? I need to use your payphone. I didn't have money. I think my money got stolen too. Obviously,
I think everything gets stolen.
And so they let me make a phone call. I call the house. I answer. Charlie,
we're all worried. Like what? Huh?
Everybody's scared to death. Hey, you take over for a minute. I have to go visit the.
Sure. So so I get a call from Scotty Beers because we've been worried, and he's like, dude, I'm at the corner of Green Street and whatever, like the corner where Tritos and Mabel, where we'd been the previous night. I'm like, yeah, and I had this white Camaro. I was like, yeah, I'll pick you up in the Camaro. So I'm telling my sister was worried and everybody, Donna, and I was like, yeah, he's called and we found him. I'm gonna go get him. Now, I didn't know anything about the gorilla suit, none of this. He just sounded like hungover and down, like, yeah. And it was a blizzard. Like it was, sideways snow. So it took me a while to, kind of, that Camaro would hydroplane, so I had to take it slow. And we lived about, a couple miles from the, so, I get in my Camaro. I'm hungover. I'm not feeling too, I'm just like, what? See, probably still intoxicated, not too, anyway. So, I pull up. I'm looking for Scott, and then he's standing there.
In a gorilla suit.
In a gorilla suit. He didn't have the head on. And it's a nice gorilla suit, like something you see out of a movie. Like
It looks all realistic.
yeah, it looks realistic, you know. And I'm like, what in the fuck? I remember when I pulled up, you were like, I don't want to talk about it. That you at first you were like, dude,
I was embarrassed, man.
I'm like, well, you're in a gorilla suit, you know. I mean, I need some kind of an explanation.
I just wanted to go home and go to bed. I just wanted to lay down, and I did.
Yeah.
I slept that whole day because I was concussed bad. I had to have been. I remember Jenny and Joe Donna coming down, each of them, a couple different times throughout the day to check on me. Okay.
Nurse you back to.
Yeah, you want something to drink, guys?
We got some food or whatever, you know.
Bring me some food, and they were taking care. It was wonderful. They were so sweet, and it was heartwarming. Actually, it felt so good that day to have them both coming down. Oh, we were so worried.
Yeah, we weren't mad or anything. We were worried about him, and you know, just again, we hadn't asked too much about the gorilla suit. You know what I mean? Like this, he'll be given this time. You know, and he'd changed.
I didn't even know what had happened yet. Really, I needed time to kind of work through, my memories. Like, what do I remember about this? Oh shit!
And he'd gotten out of this gorilla suit, like put on pajama when he went to bed, and we got it upstairs. We're like, what is this thing? Like, this was a nice gorilla suit. Like, what is it? What the fuck just happened? Like, huh? We like this. Don't he'll give him time. Let him
decompress. I need time to process all this.
Yeah. So you do. Like that.
I'm eventually fine. Later that night, I'm basically back to normal. Probably, took another Xanax.
Probably.
Just being,
probably
stupid.
Start drinking again. Who knows?
Probably. I mean, that was the reality. I'm not going to sit here and lie about my past or
we're not sugarcoating this. We're again, we don't condone.
Exactly. If there's anybody younger out there watching, avoid that. For God's sakes.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get yourself into. If you end up like I did, you're blackout drunk.
There's no telling what.
You have no control over your life or what happens to you. Anything could have happened to me at that party that night.
Yeah.
They could have thrown me out in the snow, in a snowbank, and I would have froze to death because I was so drunk and drugged up that I wouldn't have woke up. I mean, if they'd have thrown me out in a snowdrift, I would have died.
You'd have had hypothermia and
I would have woke up dead. So we were not condoning it, but hey, it was the 80s. We're 18 years old and bulletproof. Having a good time. It was
Champagne Urbana at the time was popping.
It was a great place to live back then.
Yeah.
Great place.
Just every night was just so you start you start telling the like what okay you were in a gorilla suit. Well, come on, tell us. And he starts saying what he remembered, we're laughing like 2 hours. This is
like hyenas.
Yeah, just rolling on the floor. And then shocked at the gorillas, how nice this. It wasn't like something you'd go and get like for $20 at the store. This thing was like
movie quality.
Yeah.
It was Hollywood looking, form fitted, had like elastic at the wrists. I'm sure there were probably gloves to go with it that I didn't end up with.
The hair looked real, like it had like abs on it, like it looked like a
big silverback gorilla. It was actually cool.
Whatever happened to that gorilla? See, that's another thing. We should have found and I remember Jenny or somebody's like, we should have took the head. We could have sold, like, well, hell, what are you?
No, that's Jenny for you. Well, we could have made money off that.
Yeah, we could have sold.
What's wrong with you, Scott? So, okay, that is the gorilla suit story from my end. There's more to come. The story, it's not over. The circle is about to become complete.
So, to tie all this together, right? This is before I got in a band. I got in a band called Electric Elephant at first, and then this happened like 88, late 88, early 89.
Late 88.
So I got, and then by 91, I joined Love Engineer. And then years later, like by 93, 94, we were like a, local band doing really well.
probably the biggest local band, Charlie.
One of them. Anyway.
Love Engineer was huge.
We had a CD out, and we had big crowds.
Toured all across the Midwest.
Yeah, we 1,000 gigs. Pardon me. So, it was years later. I kind of forgot about the gorilla suit. Not even forget, but I've done 1,000 gigs. I've seen every kind of. And then we have a gig probably at Mabel's, my band Love Engineer. Then we're invited to a party.
A frat party.
We didn't know, but it was just, it's a frat. And I was kind of excited. Wow, this big mansion, you see this big mansion, these fraternity guys, and then they have money. They have all the everything. Okay, so, hey, we're there. And it's big, like wood carved paneling on the wall, like, leather couch, like nice. And so and it's packed. And they're fans of Love Engineer, they have us back. And I'm hanging out, and it's you can barely move. There's so many people, but I get to one of these rooms, and on the wall, they have like panties nailed,
bras, just that kind of stuff. Yeah,
every kind of thing. Right?
But what else did they have?
Years of right. And you can actually see the newer, it's went into multiple rooms. So I'm like, wow, checking this out. And you're like, damn. And they're explaining, yeah, man, see that, woo, man, me and Geach or whoever. They've all got like weird, like frat names, like nicknames. So I'm getting, and then you get to the point where it's like, it's older and there's literally like cobwebs and there's just so much stuff. And I look over in the corner and I see this leather jacket and these like, snakeskin boots, and I'm like, wait a minute, how in the hell? How do I know this?
I recognize that jacket and those boots.
I recognize that jacket and those boots, and they're nailed. There's like nail, like they've been up there, and they're all kind of dried now, Then it clicks in. I'm like, oh my god,
shit.
That's Scott's clothes. That's his leather jacket, the boots. This is where he was at. The said gorilla store. This is the mothership. This is where it all kind of went down. So I'm asking, but they don't know because every year, every 4 years, people are like, no, we should ask. So no, they didn't know. They're like, oh, that's. And again, you could see like cobwebs at the point. I mean, it was older.
It'd probably been like what, maybe 4 years,
4 to 5, maybe 6 years later. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. This is then I mention and they kind of know, like the lure of the frat, like, oh yeah, that gorilla, and I'm like, oh my god, this is it. The circle.
That long-haired townie.
Yeah,
we fucked him over good.
Yeah. So if you weren't in college, they'd call you a townie because you weren't like a rich college kid.
You weren't a college kid.
You were a townie, and there's levels to every pyramid, and if you're not, of course they'll party with you, but then
you're kind of lesser.
That's
why they treated me the way they did.
Yeah.
Left me to basically choke. I could have choked on my own puke.
Yeah.
In this hallway. It was a wooden floored hallway. And it's like, I just woke up there. I kind of felt, it's like, man, okay, make a joke out of me. That's cool. I had fun. I put in the drill suit and watched a girl in the corner there, but at least give me a bed to sleep in or put me on a couch. No. Put me on a couch even? No, I'm on the wooden floor of this hallway. So anyway, but yeah, so keep going. The circle is complete.
That's basically what happened. I go, oh my God, I grabbed the, because there's always like a frat, I forgot what they call it, like the dude that's like the main, there's, what I'm saying? They give themselves like these titles.
Yeah, like
dude,
it means nothing.
He's a senior, whatever. It was like,
the Grand Mufti.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, man, that gorilla, that's a lead, that's that dude, that was, I'm like, I know that, I actually was like wanting to get those boots and jacket. No, and of course those boots were dried up.
Because like snakeskin boots need oiled every once in a while.
And the snakeskin was actually peeling up, and they looked like they'd been in a Western. Like, you know what I mean? They had been worn, and they were literally like nailed to the wall with his jacket. Like it was a shrine to the,
we fucked that dude over good.
Yeah. Good times. And you can literally see the years of, by the time you saw, it was cobwebs. I mean, it was up on the wall. This is a big wall. You couldn't reach it.
That room was huge. That main room where the grand piano was and all the couches, it was huge. I mean, this was a massive house.
Yeah, there's like 20 dudes. These fraternities are even in LA standards are big mansions, and they're marble outside, big, nice
big columns out front.
Yeah. And so I was like, and the guys in love engineer, I had to explain to my parents, like, dude, this, what? See, good times.
We had the best of times. If I could go back, I would go back right now.
Do it all again.
It was so much fun in Champaign back then. I mean, we had so much fun. I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the drugs.
There were so many.
It was so easy to get. It was so available. You didn't have to worry about it being cut with fentanyl and dying from a heart attack. You know?
There was everything. You would not think that a little small town, well, not small, but Champaign isn't like a big city. But man, it's just a wash.
There's so many different people from so many different places in a college
and Chicago's
town, a big
like
college town like that.
Chicago's like an hour and a half from Champaign, maybe a little bit longer, 2 hours. And people from all over the world, from all over the country. It was the 80s too. It was the 80s, so you couldn't. I miss those, some of the best times. I mean,
it was so much fun having that house to ourselves.
We were fortunate to.
We were right across the street from this huge, nice public swimming pool park.
What they call that park?
Crystal Lake Park.
There you go.
Directly across the street. We could look. I mean, we could walk out our front door and go straight to the entrance of that swimming pool in about a minute and a half.
Yeah, just stumble over, and we did
stumble over there drunk somewhere. Let's get some sun. Yeah, look at some babes or whatever.
We had this dog named Nikki, and I remember she would get loose, and she got hit by a car twice. And I remember we were looking out there. We're like, damn, that looks like Nikki. It was. We had to go chase her. She was like a chow shepherd, big. But a good time.
The best dog.
We'll wrap this up. But look,
again, 32 minutes.
We don't condone, we're trying to just we want to tell the story so we don't forget.
Before I forget.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, check him out. Give him some love. Before I forget. I forgot his name, but yeah, he's got a podcast. Before I forget, check him out. Give him love. But yeah, we just want to we're in our 50s now.
It was a story worth sharing. I mean, come on, a gorilla suit, a frat party, some long-haired rocker dude, yeah, awesome. He gets his boots and his coat stolen, and he could have died. And it's kind of you could almost call it a warning tale, like hey,
warning,
don't do this.
Will Robinson, you didn't want to. But again, Trito's Uptown, amazing place. Mabel's amazing because I've been around. I lived in LA for 24 years, and I still the Viper Room's like a stamp. It's so small. This is comparably better because of the room you have, and then people are nicer. You're not going to get robbed. Well, you might.
Well, these days, Champaign.
Yeah, well, nowadays.
These days, Champaign is a shithole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Murders and rapes and robberies
sad.
Every day.
It was listed the second most dangerous, smaller town in America. The first one was
it's sad.
Trenton,
it's really sad. Chambana has become a shit.
And Urbana was listed as the sixth most dangerous. Because again, they probably come from Chicago. There's all these rich students. It's prime for crime. Again, I'm glad we got to witness and see all these great bands and the Digits and Titanic Love Affair and
Digits. Fuck
just
Digits.
Yeah, Digits are still one of my favorite bands.
Excuse me, Captain.
Amy's in that video.
Why did you give me so strong?
Yeah. We love the Digits. But look, we're out of here. We love y'all.
Woo!
Be blessed. Cheers.